Welcome back to Urban Regenerative Gardening, where I show you how to garden without buying fertilizers, pesticides, how to seed save, how to make compost. Um, with regenerative gardening, there's a lot of different advantages that you can get from regular gardening. Um, the cost is the main thing. I don't know if you ever gone to the big stores to get starter plants and you realize I could buy a plant, I could buy a finished product in the farmer's market for less than what I'm paying for this single plant. that I'm the price they have for it is more than what you would pay to buy like a huge head at a farmer's market. And you're just like, well, this makes no sense. Then I gotta add a fertilizer, then I gotta buy pesticides, and I gotta do all that work. Just why bother? But with regenerative gardening, you can do, like, especially if you do seed saving stuff, you can save a lot of money. Um, that's one thing. And if you're concerned about the environment, carbon sequestration is another factor. The compost that you're making, that locks in the carbon. The plants are pulling the carbon out of the air. You're making compost with that, and it locks it um, into the dirt instead of just quickly escaping back out into the atmosphere. Um, Pollution, uh, the local water sources don't get polluted from all the chemicals you're putting in your garden, in your yard. Um, how they talk about um, today's food doesn't have the nutrients in it, like the minerals aren't in the soil. They talk about soil depletion. You can't get the nutrients out of food the way you used to be able to. So you're gonna get your nutrients if you do regenerative gardening, because the compost has the nutrients, the minerals in it that your regular soil doesn't have. And so here's my garden. This is no fertilizer. These are pea plants, believe it or not. This is like 8 feet tall, only because that's how high my trellis goes. So they're falling over. They're basically flopping over. These are sugar snap peas. You have to pick them when they're really young. I literally just picked this down to nothing yesterday, and they're coming back. Excuse me. The more you keep these picked, the more production you get out of them, because the plant just naturally wants to procreate, wants to propagate new plants. So I let some of them go to seed if I worked a bunch of overtime last week, so I couldn't get out here every day, and some of them just went too far. So these will be seed saving ones. Here, occasionally you'll see there's a big one back there, seed saving. There's another seed saver. So yeah, the more you harvest these, the more production you get. And so that's that. And I'm doing seed saving here. I had some indoor lettuce. I prefer growing indoor lettuce because outdoors it's dirtier outside. I have an indoor garden. So this is leftover indoor plants I had from the winter. I put them out so I could do seed saving. You need to put more than one. You need to have more than one so they cross-pollinate. So let's see, these guys are ready for seed saving there. Some of them are. And These are my string beans. I like having my string beans on the edge, so I can just kind of, when I go to plant, I can just kind of kneel down here and casually take my time planting. Yeah, so there's 2 seed savings, 1 lettuce and 1 peas. There's my spaghetti squash. Come along nice. My tomatoes. This looks like overkill here, but if you stay tuned to my channel, by the time the end of summer, early fall, you'll see that I have, Lord willing, I'll have, like every other year, 12, 13, 14 foot tall tomatoes. I have extensions I put on there. There's my rain barrel set up. I'm doing something different over here with the carrots this year. Carrots are notorious for being hard to get started, so I mixed radishes in with my carrot seeds because they say the shade from the radishes helps. I haven't actually looked under here in a while. I have a irrigation system set up. Yeah, I think you can see the irrigation there, the lines and stuff here. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. Heck yeah, I could probably about leave the cover off, especially if you got a chance of rain today. I should take this cover off here. Let the rain get in there. On this side of my yard here, I got 4 different sections. Well, I got 5 different sections of garden. Well, technically 6. There's a little one there, and I have a space here for. This is set up so far for 4 different areas. These timers I have set for, like, in the middle of the night, they'll come on for like a half hour, and I have these soaker hoses. Soaker hoses are really nice because they just kind of ooze out all over the place. And if you can water them in the middle of the night, that's a really good time. This side, I put radishes on both sides, but they didn't come up on this side, and they did on this side. And so I got a little bit later, I got thinking, well, I'll just let the weeds come up on this side. Let the weeds be the radishes on they didn't come up as much on this side either, so I'm not sure if it had to do with the help from the radishes, or this side's just more intense from the heat bouncing off the house there, like the sun building up, and it's just more intense. So it could be maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, I have these marked, labeled, so I know which ones are going where. So I got this there. Mark that, and then mark this one over here. And so this is my garlic. 125, something like that, garlic bulbs I put in, and I got every one of them came up. They don't look healthy right now, but it's just the natural time of year where they kind of do that. I'll be pulling them really soon. I always just pull them beginning of vacation. Next week I start vacation, so yeah. And then with my onions this year, I started something. I just put onions on all different places. I've had problems getting onions Could be because I didn't have good soil before. Now I got better soil. But there's one. I started them from seed inside. I think next year I'll try to start them a little earlier inside. And then here, my strawberry patch. These are ever-bearing strawberries, and they're kind of, instead of just having there's June bearing and there's ever-bearing. Instead of just being one time a year where you get them and that's it, these ones will keep coming back. And this year there was a kind of a drought period there, like May. It pretty much didn't rain, didn't do any significant rain in this area for like 4 weeks, and I didn't have I had my irrigation. There was one area that I had to like not use because I have 5 areas to be watered. This area here, my raised bed, and then this side, and then that side. Each has their own line there. Let's see, the soaker hose is on that side, soaker hose on this side. And I didn't get around to setting another. I have to buy another timer and put a different kind of line on there to make it work. So here I'm working on these guys. This is pretty much what I started with here. All kind of dried out, really having a hard time. And this area I've been trimming off, giving them some tender loving care, and taking the dead parts away, and leaving the center, and doing all the weeding and stuff. Just giving them some tender loving care here. It starts out like that. Well, this is the better looking area right here. Basically, most of them look kind of like this, or that, or that. And they end up looking like that after I give them a little TLC. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned for my channel to see how my strawberries come back. Let's see, I'll show you I just did this for the heck of it a couple years ago. What I did was I just put some cardboard down here underneath, keep the weeds from coming up in. I drilled holes in the bottom of those so that the worms could come up in, and just filled it up with compost. And this is celery and some of my onions. And then another thing I did here is I was picking through I was kind of like over there making compost, and I was picking worms out of them, and I dumped like 200 worms in here or something, or at least 100 worms or something. And then I dumped the rest of the worms in my strawberries that year. And about 2 weeks later, this stuff really started looking really good. And about 3 or 4 weeks later, my strawberry patch blew up too. I honestly think it's from the worms that I put in there. I think they kind of did some magic. And that's part of regenerative gardening. It's the life. It's the relationship between like with the roots. The roots of your plants. It's kind of like how you get on your phone and you order food. Well, their roots they send out specific sugars. The latest research is that the roots of the plants know what kind of bacteria they want to attract, and they know what that bacteria likes, what kind of sugar that bacteria likes, and they send out specific types of sugar, kind of like they're ordering food, like the way we do on our phones. So you can look it up. Don't just take my word for it. It's like the latest research. And yeah, and the worms are just part of that. They're like mass transit for the bacteria, basically. And the bacteria like the worm poop and all that too, so all kinds of. This here raised bed, in the winter I grow root vegetables in here, and I got old school Christmas lights that have them on a timer, and if it's super cold I'll plug it in and they'll come on at night. But root vegetables can take some really, really cold weather, so it's not usually necessary to have the lights on, but in them really, really extreme nights, I turn them on just to be safe. And then come spring, I harvest the root vegetables and put potatoes in here. And a lot of times, potatoes will just come back on their own too. But I do seed saving with the potatoes. I don't know if I can find any, but these little flowers, they put out berries. It might be a little early in the year to find any berries in here, but I got seed saving videos, true potato seed saving videos on my channel. If you look around, you'll find them, and it's how to do seed saving with potatoes. And so I started potatoes inside in the middle of the winter, or late winter, or whatever it was, and wherever there was some bare spots where they didn't come back, I put potatoes in, and you can kind of see where there's some of the younger ones there. These are the ones I started inside. There's some too. And there's some from the seed saving. And there's some more from seed saving. They're a little younger than that. And here's another little back there from seed saving. They'll get. It's not bad that they have competition, you know. It makes them do their thing better. And you can still. There was a couple scraggly carrots I left in when I wanted to do the harvest. Yeah, see, there's some carrots there. Ooh, oh, that one split open. Shouldn't have showed that one. That one don't look too good. This side looks alright now. Anyway, that's how gardening goes there. Ooh, there's a nice one. Two nice ones. Anyway, yeah, couple of weeds. Might as well get them out of here. See, there's something probably seed saving there too. But let's see, anything else I show you guys? There's some compost barrels. Just mix the leaves and the grass, like you do the grass clipping. Mix the leaves and the grass together. Tumble them about, get the moisture level right between the leaves and the grass and your moisture. And turn those barrels like twice a week. And a month and a half later, you got compost. This is going to be in a garden extension. Next week I go on vacation. I got it laid out here. I thought about putting more trellis right here, but I realized it's going to block the morning sun and stuff wouldn't grow in here. So I decided I would put an extension out like this. This way I can put the trellis through here and it won't block the morning sun, and I'll have more garden to work with. So, and I'm gonna start a couple. I use toilet rolls where I started. This is how I started these guys. I have videos, you can find them too. We got string beans coming on there. I'll start a couple batches of string beans inside today. I'm just now reminding myself I better hurry up and finish what I'm doing out here. I was just enjoying the day. It's been in the 90s today. It's like 80s instead. And it's like, okay, get outside and ground. And take care of your health. Get some fresh air. I did 60 hours at work last week, and it just feels good to be out here. So that's a garden extension for this year's garden. Every year I like to do a little garden extension. This might have some compost in it here. Yep, there's compost. And over here I do bone broth. I make bone broth videos also. So if you guys are into health, optimal health and all that kind of stuff, bone broth. Like I hurt my knee at work a few years ago, and between the grounding and the bone broth and some other things I'd be doing, it's getting better. Slowly but surely it's getting better. On my own. I haven't seen a doctor about it, which I don't necessarily recommend, but it's just what I'm doing. I'm in no hurry to do what the conventional. Anyway, this is my bone broth compost. Normally I go back and forth over here. Every other year I back and forth, but this time of year I made a new compost pile. This spring there was an old pile here that I just put in my garden. That's where my peas are. That's why the peas are doing so well over there. Harvested that, used it for my peas. Now I'm starting my next pile. Just grass clipping and leaves and garden scraps and all that. Now this sits here and does its thing. Nature does its thing. Next spring, this will be going into my garden. Be cleaning that up really well. And starting a new pile. Next year, this time, it'll be just the opposite. So 1 year. Over here, with the bones, I figured, well, I'm going to need another year because the bones are going to take longer to decay, so I'm going to do like a 2-year, 3-year thing. I'm going to make a new one right here for this year. And then the next year, I'll make a third one over here. And when I make that third one, and then the following year when it's time, I'll be harvesting this and probably putting it through my wood chipper, get the bones ground down and stuff. Put that in the garden. And I don't put beef bones or anything tough, just chicken bones. I made turkey bone broth too, and chicken bone broth. So I make bone broth videos. I also make videos with homemade mayonnaise. If you're interested in that, because one of the healthy things that I'm doing for myself is I'm avoiding those highly processed seed oils, and in order to do that fully, I had to make my own mayonnaise. You can actually make your own salad dressings and stuff. It's mayonnaise, your homemade mayonnaise, part of the salad dressing. Alright, let's see. And then every fall, I clean up my neighbor's yard and my yard. And I save grass clippings. That's ground up grass clippings. A hard time saying that. And I bag them up with my mower. And then over here, this is just, I take a tarp and I just drag. These are whole leaves here. This pile was 5 times this size last fall. It's really huge. And then another thing I do for compost making is every town has a place where you take your scraps, and you can also get free wood chips Well, every year I go get a huge pile of wood chips. This one I did last summer. And it's coming along half decent. That's about a year. This is 2 years ago. This is going in the garden this year. It's pretty much just compost, just ready to put in the garden. Look at that. That is really nice. And this stuff is called hummus. If you look it up, you'll see it's even better than regular compost. And it's supposed to last like 100 years. So it'll be compost 50 years from now. And so that's that. I'll be harvesting this really soon here when I go on vacation. And then I'm going to take like an entire day. I might order. I think the town will just drop it off. My town, I believe, drops it off for free. And I'm going to look into that. If not, I'll be going and getting it. Probably a buddy of mine in his truck or something will probably do it. And make a day out of it or something. Make another huge pile here for the 2 years from now. So that's that. Harvest that, get a new pile. Next year, boom. I did like twice as much this year than I did the first year. And it was like kind of a new idea, and I just grabbed some, and I realized I probably should have grabbed more. Wow. This way, it's less work. It's less work than mixing the grass clippings and the leaves. This I don't have to do anything to. Just let Mother Nature do it. And then here's a hot pile. If you make the pile large enough and you get the moisture level right, and you mix the green and the brown, the carbon and the nitric oxide together in the right way. The green is the nitric oxide, the nitrogen, sorry. The green is the nitrogen, the brown, the leaves, is the carbon. And if you mix that ratio together right, and you get the moisture level right, and you get the pile big enough, the temperature will go up really high in your pile. I've had it into the 150s several times. 150 degrees Fahrenheit, 155, 6, 7 degrees Fahrenheit, I think it's the highest I ever got. And then you mix, then you turn the pile over at least once a week. If you're not in a hurry, you can do it once a week. But if you're in a hurry for compost, you can do it twice a week. If you do it twice a week, in a month, you got ready compost. It's fairly quick because of how hot it gets. I think that is like the tour of how you make compost. And I just thought of something. There's another part of regenerative gardening that I do, is mixing different types of plants together as much as you can, because that's another thing that will throw off the bugs. And it's all about the balance of the good bugs and the bad bugs. If you really is no such thing as good bug, bad bug, because they eat each other. Supposedly good bugs eat the bad bugs, and they're bad bugs because they're eating your garden and they hurt your plants. But the bugs, they keep each other in check. So part of confusing the bugs is having different things. Here I got pepper, potatoes, pepper, broccoli, pepper, cabbage. Rutabaga's not doing very good. And then squash, tomato. Just trying to, if you mix things together, you throw off the scents of the plants, because maybe there's something in there that the bugs, there might be something in there that the bugs don't like, and they'll smell that and they'll leave the thing they're looking for alone. And so that's why I got different things in here. Didn't do the greatest job in here, but this is mixed up a little bit. But this is like all brassica. It should be a little more diverse. Like there should be some peppers in here or something. But I got lettuce and I got brassica, which is anything in the cabbage family. So this should be a little bit more diverse. Should be some peppers, should be some rutabaga in there and stuff to throw off the scents of the bugs. So I just almost forgot that. So let's see. I guess that's about it. So thanks for watching all the way through. Hope you learned something about regenerative gardening. If you want to help the environment, if you want food security, that's another thing I forgot to mention, is food. Like the distance from the harvest to your plate is 20 feet instead of miles. So it's environmental, it's food security, health, because you're getting the nutrients out of that homemade compost stuff I showed you. You're getting your minerals, and all the stuff you need. So thanks for watching. God bless. See you in the next video.